Zidane Danny, Electro Ninja here, and welcome back to Electro Ninja's Lab. In today's video, we are going to be talking about the 6 in between. For those of you who are unaware what I'm talking about, here's what it basically is. As we all know, the Keyblade is made of 20 pieces, approximately. These 20 pieces are considered the 7 lights and the 13 darknesses. But something bugged me about this whole idea. What if those 13 darknesses were never actually accurate, but instead it was supposed to be 7 light, 7 darknesses, and 6 in between? Basically, think about it like this. In Union Cross, there are 7 darknesses, which basically amount to the 5 foretellers, and then Lushu, and the Master of Masters. And the reason that I still consider them the darknesses is because of the fact that they are heavily tied to the 7 deadly sins, at least in many people's theories. And that got me thinking, okay, so what exactly is going on? And then there's also the 7 Guardians of Light, as well as the 7 Princesses of Heart, which the 7 Princesses of Heart are being protected by the 7 Guardians of Light. And while they do share some aspects, they're not it's complicated, to say the least. But it got me thinking then, what if those last 6 pieces represent the in-between? And basically, people have misunderstood because a lot of the time, those 6 will actually swap between the 2 sides. And for a lot of the time of Kingdom Hearts, they appeared to be siding with that of the darkness. And as such, people have just assumed that it's the 13 darknesses. But there are places that are specifically places of opposites. Basically, these are worlds that are completely separate from both light and darkness. The most known one is that of the world that never was. The world where the nobodies come from. And that got me thinking, okay, so what exactly could also be other areas that are considered so separated from light and darkness that they basically become nothing? And I think I have some answers. But first off, obviously the world that never was. But then there's also a few realms. Specifically, the realm of dreams and the realm of fiction. Basically, these 2 worlds are basically, the realm of dreams is what we see within Dream Drop Distance. And that realm is, if we're going to be counting the Seekers of Darkness, that is being represented by that of young Master Xehanort. In the true Seekers of Darkness, basically what is currently going on. And to an extent, yeah, at that point, he is neither really truly darkness, nor is he really truly light. Sure, he's leaning more towards darkness, but the truth is that he is neither light nor darkness in this time. And that is just rather interesting to me. The world that never was is represented by that of Xemnas, and then the remaining 4 are really tricky to actually pinpoint. Like I said, the world of fiction, which is represented by Luxord, I think is his name. Yeah, Luxord. Card guy. Or am I mistaking that? I don't know. The point is, yeah, it is Luxord. Why am I thinking it's not? Because of the fact that he comes from Quadratum. So, or Verum Rex, whatever's going on there. It's really complicated. Basically, he is Yazora's driver, so we know that he comes from the world of fiction. Which therefore means a world outside of light and darkness. And it kind of raises a question then, what about the others? Marluxia and Larxene are kind of the big ones that I want to address, because as they are both guardians of basically they used to be dandelion leaders, meaning they were at one point part of the 7 Guardians of Light, basically. And yes, I'm going to classify that group as the, at the time, 7 Guardians of Light, which basically we would, on top of the 5 dandelion leaders, we would add on Larxene, but also Strelitzia, who obviously died. And basically, if Strelitzia hadn't died, Marluxia and Larxene would have been the last 2 members of the current 7 Guardians of Light, as they would have been connected to Strelitzia, and it's complicated, we're not going to get into that. The point is that they would have been the 7 Guardians of Light. But since they've kind of been detracted from the light and kind of leaned more towards the darkness, they became the in-between. Now, I kind of want to give one of them Castle Oblivion, because they are heavily connected to it, but I'm not really certain who should get it. And I would actually say that this would actually be the land of a connection to the Land of Departure, as well as Scala at Kylam. And as such, I would say that that would probably go to Marluxia, as he was heavily connected to Ephemer. So, yeah. And Strelitzia, or not Strelitzia, Larxene is just really challenging to actually pinpoint, because she really doesn't have a set world that is specifically for her yet. So I'm just going to say that right now she doesn't really have one. And you may be thinking, what? You can't do that. And the fact is, I kind of can. There's really not that many realms that we know of that are in between. In fact, there's only really 4. Which are the world that never was, Castle Oblivion, which also includes basically a whole bunch of the other places, basically everything that is connected to that. So Land of Departure, Scala, Kylam, and Daybreak Town. All of that is condensed into one. So I'm going to classify that as all that realm, which is a realm in between. And then after that, then there is the world of fiction and the realm of dreams. And that's it. And on top of Larxene, we still have Demyx, who, as of right now, we have no idea what he even is, what we should classify him as being. Is he going to be even a... Should we classify him as being one of the 13 darknesses? Should we classify him as being one of the 6? The fact is that we know that he is connected to the time before, the time of Union Cross. Yet for some reason, there has been no information about him basically anywhere. Demyx is still the only person that we do not know his actual name. And it confuses me, because it's basically just Demy, and that is all that those are the only letters that are within his name, and it's really hard to figure out, okay, where exactly does he fit? He's never really fit anywhere, and it's driving me crazy, but it leads me to actually think that is actually reasonable. The fact is that there are no other worlds in between, unless we want to count the afterlife. But the fact is that that feels like a realm of light thing. That feels like when you die, you will go there if you are actually someone of light. Because that's where we find both Naminé and Strelitzia and frickin' the one character from Verum Rex. Oh, that's something to think about. Verum Rex is a realm between. So that leads me to believe that all hearts are technically light, but the realm in between is that of the final world. That world is not just one small world. That is an entire expanse meant to take in the souls that have died both light and dark. And that became the world, the final world. The world that is the end is, of course, a realm in between. And as such, we have to pinpoint who exactly goes there. And surprisingly, I'd actually give it to Larxene. Kind of weird. But she's kind of chaotic, and I can't really pinpoint her to anywhere else. But Demyx really doesn't feel like that kind of person. I mean, sure, he could be an angel in disguise, and basically he's guiding the people to the realm using his sitar or whatever. But he doesn't feel like he's a part of that. And it leads me to wonder, who exactly is he? I could go off and try and figure out who exactly is Demyx for probably hours on end, but the fact is that he is just really tricky to pinpoint. Who exactly is this guy? Who exactly is Demyx? Who is he going to be moving forward in the series? Because we do know that he is going to be involved. But what is his realm between? And I honestly think that the answer is a lot more cut and dry than we may think. The fact is that we do know that before too long, we are going to be getting some honestly really interesting stuff with all of these characters. We know that there is going to be a lot of work between them, and with Verum Rex or Kingdom Hearts 4, whatever it is, that's supposed to be coming at some point. Seriously, why have they not announced that yet, is my question, though. Because it's supposed to come out in 2022, whatever is the next Kingdom Hearts game, and yet it's not being announced at E3? The fuck? It's weird. But I think that whatever game is coming out next may hold that answer. That is the one question. The one question that we cannot find out, because there's just not enough information on him. Demyx is a loner, avoiding the rest of the group so often that it feels like he may have more memories than he's letting on. Those members between, I don't remember what number, but it's basically after Axel to frickin' Larxene, all of those members are considered separate. And basically they're all involved with the time before, the time of Fairy Tales, basically. So, who knows? We're gonna have to highly talk about this as we get ready for the next Kingdom Hearts game. And unfortunately, we're not getting any information at E3, which doesn't make any sense. Sorry, I'm a bit annoyed. E3 did not give as much as I was hoping for. Moving on. But anyways, guys, there's a lot of theories that I have, and I really want to talk more about this, but there's just not enough information to talk about Demyx. But now we have a decent idea of what exactly are the 6 in between. And perhaps, maybe there was something to do with the Keyblades. Maybe there are 20 true Keyblades. 20 that are really important. 7 held by the Guardians of Light. 7 held by the Keepers of Darkness. And 6 held from those in between. And yeah, we'll have to wait and see exactly what happens. But for now, we have lots of theories to get ready for as we get ready for more Miraculous, more My Hero Academia, more Kingdom Hearts, and more of everything as we continue. But anyways, guys, I have been Electro Ninja, and I will see you guys next time. But on!